Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Charific here, coming at you with another Pokemon movie review. And, as always, my boy Weeb Rabbit is right here sitting next to me in the movie theater.
Yes, terrific. A little known fact, he has his personal movie theater in his house. So I'm sitting right next to him. We are in comfy chairs and we're eating popcorn and we're just chilling. And
Heck yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, we're cuddling up. When those lights get dim, y'all better watch out, my guy. Okay, so this time we are reviewing Volcanion and the Mechanical Marvel. And I remember never finishing this movie. I remember trying to watch it like 5 years ago, and I couldn't get through it. I got through like 20 minutes, and then I think I got sidetracked or busy. I was like, oh, I'll watch it later. And then I never had the motivation to watch it again. And for good reason, this movie is another dud. Like, oh my gosh, man. Um, it's one of those things where they had the potential, they had a decent plot that they could have worked with if they wanted to, but they just really chose not to, and the movie just felt dull. So let's dive in. The movie starts off with obligatory, this is the world of Pokemon. There are so many different types, and the trainers live with them and train them, and yada, yada, yada. And then we jump to an airship, and there's an evil guy there who's obviously
A
evil.
lot of a lot, a lot of bad guys have airships.
Yeah, I know, right? Like that's just the thing that they do, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if there's just like some magazine that they just subscribe to and they just like pick their own airship to use. But yeah, all the bad guys just have airships.
Which I'll just add this real
And
quick is what makes the new series surprising because the new team they ride around an airship and they're the good guys.
that is
So I guess
true.
mixing things up, because I think they realized, huh? We keep
Yeah,
giving the bad guys airships.
yeah,
How about the good guys? How about they get an airship for once?
yeah, yeah. You get an airship. You get an airship. But yeah, no. And Volcanian's there. We don't know why. And the dude brings out this machine and he says Mega Wave and basically makes his Pokemon Mega Evolve. But obviously, the Pokemon don't like it. It causes them pain and they fight. Volcanion get he shoots out. I don't even know what his plan was. He shoots out this like metal band and it connects to Volcanion's leg. Then he shoots out another one and Volcanion steps on it. And then Volcanion gets frozen and like yeeted off the airship, and that's it for that. And then we jump to Ash and friends. He's with Clement, Bonnie, and Serena, and they decide to have a battle. And then in the middle of the battle, Volcanion just crashes down in his little ice ball, makes a giant crater. They all survive, but it's like, bro, there's like a quarter mile foot crater in the ground. I don't understand like the amount of force that happened, and everyone's just hunky dory. But yeah, no, and in the whole commotion, Ash gets the second little metal band wrapped around his abdomen.
How?
Yeah, just somehow it just connects to him, and then we find out that they're connected with an electromagnetic pulse that basically, for comedic effect, just basic when they get far enough away from each other, they just like it snaps them back. And that's the whole little. It's just there for comedic purposes. I'm guessing the dude shot it at Volcanion's legs to try to incapacitate him, but that doesn't make any sense because they only activate when they get far away, and Volcanion's legs would never get that far away. I just don't understand. Like it doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
it really is just weird. Yeah.
but and then Volcani's like, oh, I don't trust humans. Humans are evil,
And I'm
and
like, whoa, we never heard this from a Pokemon before.
yeah, I know. And then it can use telepathy because it's a thing now. They just make all the legendary Pokemon use telepathy because it's easier to understand them. Even though me and Weeb Rabbit had this talk, and it's actually better. I don't know. I feel like we get more if they don't talk. You know what I mean? It's more of a I don't know, it just hits different. But either way, Volcanion can talk using telepathy, and he jumps off and tries to search for something. It's
And
not
I
made
love,
aware of yet.
and I love that Volcanion is smart enough to like use telepathy and talk, what's going on, and not trust humans, all this stuff. But yeah, as
Hmm.
Ash is telling him, I am connected to you. Look, stop running and let's figure this out. it's stupid and thinks that Ash is like chasing him, or I don't know what it thinks.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Like, yeah, no, Volcanion has all this rational thought, except for the fact that obviously it's these two metal straps that's keeping Ash connected to you. Like, come on, man. Like, use your head. But, he zooms off using his little steam pipes, and gets under a bridge. I might be missing some pacing, but I think at this point we also find out that the evil people are working for a prince, Prince Rilo, something like that, and his kingdom, just random out of nowhere kingdom of like what the kingdom Asloff or something like that, and
Yeah.
they have I was gonna say Diancie, and they have Magearna, which is a mechanical
It kind of
Pokemon.
reminds me of Nancy, though. You're right.
Yeah, it does. And the prince is all excited and is like, "Oh, this is, you're gonna help our kingdom and yada yada yada." And we find out that the people that were attacking Volcanion works with the prince, and shenanigans arise, and Diancie ends up. Ash like grabs hold of Diancie
It's not
like as
Nancy.
Volcanion. Oh my gosh, Ash grabs on to Magearna, like, and Volcanion zooming off, and the metal bands connect them still, and and Diane. Oh my gosh, Magearna ends up sticking them with them, and they leave, and we find out that Magearna was created by this arcane scientist who built this whole nation, or this whole city pretty much, using like basically steampunk stuff. It's like some steampunk society.
Basically,
And
yeah.
yeah, and he built all these like technological things, and Magearna's one of them, and built them for the monarchs at the time to be friends and yada yada yada. And we don't know why the prince and his crew want Magearna yet. It'll be revealed later. But fast forward to Ash and friends. They all group up, they introduce themselves, they meet Magearna, and then they meet the prince's sister, which I can't remember what her name is,
Like Kimia or
but
something like that, I think.
yeah, something like that. And she doesn't want Magearna to be with them, pretty much. Like, she knows that something is up and is suspicious, and basically is trying to keep Magearna away. And Volcanion is trying to get Magearna back to, I believe, the Alto Mare, which is where they all live. And that's pretty much the whole movie, people. Like, the entire movie is just getting Magearna and Volcanion back to this like giant garden, like nature preserve. It's full of Pokemon that have been hurt and abandoned by humans, which is also
Yeah, it's the
why Volcanion doesn't trust them.
Nabble Plateau.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know where I got Alto Mare from.
I don't know
Um,
either. It's something
oh my
else, I
gosh,
guess.
dude, that's from Pokemon Heroes.
Oh
That's from
God,
like the fifth Pokemon movie. I don't know. I am
jeez.
losing my head, people. This
It's because they're
movie
too
has just
similar.
done
They're
it
too
to me.
similar. They're too
Yeah,
similar.
I know.
Like for
And
instance, just to show how similar they are, to you're kind of explaining it, but basically, Team Rocket gets involved. At this
yeah,
point, we find out that Prince Rally, whatever his name is, he's not that he's bad. It's that he's being manipulated by his counselor called Alva or something like that. And Alva wants
yes,
to like steal Magearna's like heart or
yeah.
whatever, and like use that to like create like a flying fortress out of the castle. And so guess what? As in any other movie, so they kind of succeed, and it looks like the
Hmm.
Pokemon dies. So Ash has to
Yes,
team up with like the mythical Pokemon and learns to trust
yes,
him, and they fight, and then they defeat the bad guys, and then that
yes.
Pokemon almost dies, but then the other Pokemon like is sad, and it brings it back to life using its power, and everyone's happy.
Yeah, no, literally, like that is the movie. Like, they get back to this little nature preserve, the villains catch up to them, they trap them, they steal Magearna back, and we find out that, oh yeah, Magearna's soul heart can power this giant mechanism that's meant to be a weapon, but it was too powerful, too many people were fighting over it, so they shut it down. And he literally, I actually found it kind of funny. He literally rips Magirna's heart out like that. That kind of made me chuckle, to be honest.
I
Like
was
he
kind of like,
legit,
oh, okay then.
yeah, like he rips it out, sticks it in the machine, powers it up. But the problem is that Magirna is resisting it though, like because there's still a part of it that's still alive, even within the soul heart and is resisting and basically is like, oh, we have to break Magirna's heart by getting rid of everything it loves. So he starts like destroying this little
Yeah, I think
nature
they literally
preserve.
say like we have to like break its spirit or something like that.
Yeah. And they succeed, and like Weeb Rabbit said, Magirna seemingly dies. They, incapacitate the bad guy, and Volcanian's like, oh, explosions are my specialty. I'm gonna blow this thing up so it doesn't crash and destroy the little nature area. And yeah, Volcanion basically sacrifices himself, even though he has the opportunity. They say, hey man, destroy it from the outside. It'll be fine. He's like, okay. And then they get off. He's like, I'm going to do it my way anyway. And seemingly sacrifices himself. They save the day. Magirna wakes up, but it appears as if Magirna's almost
Volcanion.
just like more robotic. Well, I'm saying when
Oh, yes,
Magirna
yes,
gets the
yes.
heart back, it's like she's not all there though. It's like it's more like on autopilot, like a robot. And then it
Yeah.
sees Volcanion. Volcanion's dead. It makes it sneeze, and it wakes up. They have a good time, and Volcanion ends the movie by telling Pikachu, "Oh, Ash seems like he gets into trouble. Watch over him." And then they laugh. And the credits roll. We see the bad guy, even though it looked like he died, he didn't die. He just got put in jail, captured. Yeah, woo, everything's fine. We never find out how in the heck they just copied Mega Evolution, and because the whole thing with Mega Evolution is that, oh, you need a bond between Pokemon and trainer. They just like click a button on their machines and just
They
forcefully Mega
force it.
evolve their
Yeah, yeah.
Pokemon. Yeah, and it's like, okay, that would have been a cool concept to dive into. No, no, we're
Like,
not we're
why did
not
they
doing
focus on
that.
they
Yeah,
why did they focus on that instead, actually?
yeah, I don't know. I guess they didn't feel the need to. But yeah, no, and that's the thing is that the problem with this movie is that I'll even say this. I don't necessarily think the pacing was bad. Like the movie was flowing well. It's just that nothing really, it just seemed like it was taking forever. I mean, like what I was watching on screen just wasn't worth much. And I guess they were going for a more character-driven story arc that it, didn't have a lot of action, and that was fine. If they wanted to go that route, then that's fine. I think they could have just done it better because the movie just seemed dull. Like I don't know, was that about your opinion?
Yeah, and especially because I'm told they keep always just doing the same stories over and over.
Yeah,
Like there's some sort of a mythical or what do you call it? Mythical slash legendary Pokemon.
yeah.
And usually there's like more than one is what I'm trying to say. There's one of
Hmm.
like each usually, and then Ash teams up with one, and it's like the protector one that's trying to rescue the more defenseless one so it doesn't get exploited.
Yeah.
And the one that's like a guardian doesn't trust Ash and friends, but it learns to after giving him a hard time. And
Hmm.
meanwhile, like you said, they managed to get the defenseless one away from the evil group. They're hanging out, they're bonding, having a good time. Then the bad guys swoop in, steal it back. So they have to go chase them to wherever like the location is. Then there's a big fight. It looks like one or both of them usually it looks like, oh, they die sacrificing themselves. And the other one, uses its powers to bring them back.
Yeah.
Like we've seen that so many times already.
Yeah, and I think that's why, because I think we both really enjoyed the Hoopa movie, and the Hoopa movie like shook things up. Like the plot was different. It wasn't just the oh we rescue the legendary and take it somewhere. Like I mean, even though it kind of was, it did take Hoopa somewhere, but it was just different because instead they were trying to prevent Hoopa's power from escaping. They threw in a bunch of different legendary, like there's a huge legendary fight. That one was more action driven and also had a good story.
Yeah,
This
and then
had
like,
like
Hoopa
zero action.
itself was like the enemy, so they had to like exercise the evil part
Yeah,
of it, and like, yeah, it was just had more going on. It was like
yeah,
more interesting. They like shook things up, and
yeah. Whereas, this movie does the same formula that you mentioned, except it wasn't even compelling. the action was basically non-existent. They tried with the whole mega evolution, because all the mega evolutions were fighting against Ash and his friends, and they tried to put action in it. It just didn't work, and
And
the
then it
movie
sucks
was
because
just dry.
Volcanion is just so boring too.
Oh my gosh, yes it is. Like it has nothing going for it. Like, and that's the thing. It was kind of it's almost as if Volcanion was an afterthought. Because if you look at the other legendaries of Generation 6, you got who of the mythicals, I should say. You have Hoopa, you have Diancie, Volcanion. Hoopa had this amazing secondary form. Diancie had a mega evolution, and Volcanion got nothing. Like it literally seems as if they were like, we need one more legendary Pokemon. Let's draw a cat with steam powers and make it a fire and water type. All right, cool. We're good. Shove it in the Pokedex. And it's like, it just feels like Volcanion just wasn't really developed. Like it, and even in the movie, its personality was dry. Its powers, like it's this menacing, hulking thing, and it still needs to refill its own water, or it can't work. Like, do you remember that? Like,
Yeah.
it ran out of water like 3 or 4 times in the movie, and then it was useless.
Yeah, it
Like,
has
it
to like
couldn't do
basically like
anything.
suck in water that way he can keep making steam basically. Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and it's like, bro, Volcanion, why did you like Volcanion just got shafted in like every experience, man. Like its movie
God.
sucked, and the games it was underwhelming. It had a unique type with whole fire and water thing going, but again, it was just like there was nothing really going for it.
Yeah,
But
and then Magirna was also really boring too, because it's basically like you said, it's a copy of Diancie.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like a
basically.
cutesy looking, defenseless, innocent slash naive Pokemon
Yeah,
that needs protecting.
yeah, basically.
Like you already did Diancie, so like why did you need to do Magirna? Or if you're gonna do it, at least like in the movie, I don't know. I
Yeah,
really
I
don't
don't.
know.
I
Like
this movie.
the movie should have literally been one or the other, either
Hmm.
Magirna or Volcanion.
Yeah.
And I like one of them being the Guardian, that's fine. But what they should have been guarding slash fighting against, as you mentioned, it would have been much more interesting if it's, oh, these bad guys are forcing Mega Evolution on different Pokemon they're catching.
Hmm.
And so one of these Pokemon, whether it's Magirna or Volcanion, whatever, they're trying to stop the bad guys because they don't want them to like hurt Pokemon. And they're
Yeah.
mad about this for some reason, you know? I don't
Yeah.
know. They could have written something like that. And so
Yeah.
Ash and friends have to team up to like stop this evil organization from like stealing people's Pokemon and forcing Mega Evolution on them because like it hurts Pokemon and do it the right way through like bonds, I
Oh,
guess.
dude, you know what? Dude, I'm gonna tell them right now what they should have done for the movie. Okay, so they were kidnapping Pokemon from this little, basically nature preserve, because since they had their bonds broken with humans, it was easier to force them to Mega Evolve, and they were using the power of Diane. Oh my gosh, the power of Magearna to do it. But they didn't find out until later in the movie. So let's say Ash found Volcanion, and they went on a journey to figure out why Pokemon were disappearing. They find out that they're forcing them to Mega Evolve. They find out that Magearna's connected. They're using its power to do it, and they're like, oh well, now our plan shifted. Let's rescue Magearna and the Pokemon at the same time. That's what they should have done.
Yeah, something like that would have been like much more
That's what they should.
interesting.
Yeah, and it would have been a different plot. That's what they should
Yeah,
have done.
yeah, exactly. It would have been a nice way to the whole Mega Evolution, tie it
Yeah.
up or whatever. Yeah, there you
Yep.
go.
So, I mean, there you go, guys. I'm sorry that the reviews were seemingly kind of in a mess, but I literally like I watched the movie and I this is the first time in a while that I was like I didn't enjoy this. Like the plot just was not on point. It just was not good. And we basically gave you the gist of it. I mean, not a lot really happens in the hour and a half that we were watching it.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah, so that's our review. Weeb Rabbit, you want to tell them what we're gonna do next time?
All right, so we are finally done with this. What you call it? This. Oh my God, what do you call this? This series.
Generation?
We're done with this
Yeah,
generation. Thank you. I forgot the word generation.
yeah,
We're finally done with this generation. We are done with Ash's adventures with Bonnie and Clement and Serena. We're
yeah,
done with all that stuff, and we are
yeah. We
done
are.
with this region.
Mm-hmm.
So the next couple of movies, this is where it gets kind of weird. For
Yes.
whatever reason, this next batch of movies, the way they work is that they are remakes. Not remakes. They are, you can't call them remakes. They're like a weird alternate timeline sort
Yeah,
of thing.
it's like a soft reboot because they do a different quote unquote universe with Ash and a different scenario, and yeah, it's they like restart his journey in a weird way.
And he's gonna have like different friends and stuff. So it's gonna be
Yeah,
very weird. So the
yeah.
next one we're gonna do is called Pokemon the Movie I Choose You. And this and the next one, it's gonna be a bit of a weird period where like, yeah, for some reason it's like almost like a reboot slash alternate universe where we are going to once again kind of copy the pilot episode, but then go in a different direction. So that will be very interesting. I have not watched either of these
Okay,
actually, like at all, ever. So it'll be
okay.
very interesting to see these and
Yeah,
see what they're about and how that works. Because
yeah. I
I've heard
mean,
some stuff, so I'm very interested to see like, yo, how's this gonna work? You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, because
So I'm kind of excited, at least in that sense.
yeah, and you can tell that it seems as if Pokemon also wanted to switch up the format, which is probably why they did this. And we'll see if it works because I saw Pokemon I Choose You when it came out. Don't remember much about it though. And I have not seen the other ones. So
Yeah, it's actually two.
we're going to
Sorry,
have a fresh look.
it's three. It's a trilogy of like this
Yeah,
alternate universe, not a duology. It's a trilogy. So
yeah.
that's gonna be our next
So,
little series of videos. This weird trilogy of like, oh, it's an alternate universe for some reason for Generation 8. Like, okay then.
oh, Gen 7. We're not on Gen 8 yet. Gen 8 actually really doesn't have movies.
No, it says here Gen 8.
Oh, it says Gen
It
8.
says Gen 8.
That's weird. Is that not the Zerude one? Because I know Pokemon I Choose You came out during Generation 7.
That's
Because that
weird.
was Pokemon Sun and
Because
Moon.
let's see. That's really weird. At least for the third one in the trilogy, because that's why I checked. That says it's a trilogy.
Yes.
For the third
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
it says Gen 8.
Yes, the third one is like because it includes a legendary from Generation 8.
Oh, but
Yeah, but the first two are
are
because that's how they kind of do it.
oh
Because the first
weird,
two
even weirder.
movies are like in one generation, and then the third one in the trilogy is like a bridge between the current generation and the next one. So like this one included Magearna, which was the Generation 7 Pokemon. Like you
Oh,
get
see, yeah.
kind of yeah. So but that's our next steps, people. We are slowly coming to an end of
Yeah,
the
we're
amount
getting
of
there.
movies
We're
that
getting
we
there
can
finally.
review.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you've enjoyed, then comment, like, subscribe. Check out my boy Weeb Rabbit. I can promise you this will come out eventually. I'm gonna break the fourth wall, but I can bet you this: whenever this does come out, we will still be playing Persona.
Oh God.
So go to his channel and watch us play Persona. It's really fun. I'm enjoying it, and yes, arguably probably a new franchise that I've come to love. So if that sounds interesting, check him out. He also is probably going to be doing some manga reviews, hopefully,
Yeah.
some different anime reviews. I don't know if his Tears of the Kingdom Let's Play will still be going
Oh,
on,
probably.
but
That's another long
probably.
ass one.
So, so yeah, check him out, guys. He's doing really well. He's gaining some momentum, and I like to see my boy succeed.
Yeah.
So, I will see you in the next Pokemon movie analysis. Bye.
Later.